Now, modernizing legacy systems is one of the most important digital initiatives that supports the overall business transformation agenda. Modernizing your core IT and ERP systems is fundamental to the day-to-day operations and building deeper resilience. To tell us more about this is Gregory Belt from Fujitsu. Gregory, thanks very much for joining us. Let me start by asking you, what is holding manufacturers, businesses back, do you think, from starting their journey?
Wow, where do I start? Right. If you go back and look before COVID, right, manufacturers that we deal with tended to have ERP systems in place already. Those tended to come from Oracle and SAP, and both of those vendors were undergoing big technology shifts as they moved from legacy to the cloud. So manufacturers were dealing with planning out that journey to cloud for their ERP. At the same time, they were planning for the Industry 4.0 smart manufacturing changes that they knew they needed to adopt, trying to figure out how to merge that with those technology changes on the ERP platform, the merger of IT and OT technologies. And then while they're planning all that, COVID hits. Now you've got supply chain disruption to deal with, people working remotely, and CIOs are just struggling to keep the business running, right? And now that we've come out of it, they've still got all those things to do, but they tend to have kind of a deer in the headlights, if you know the analogy. They don't know what to do, right? So where to start, and this is where they come to us, and we believe strongly that they should set up something called the digital core as their foundation for all these changes that have to take place. And it's important to get that digital core right, using concepts such as composable ERP, and drive everything by what business capabilities you need, what things are core, and these things you should purchase from a vendor, modernize them, optimize them, solidify them, and take the savings from that and redeploy it into more innovation apps, the things that differentiate you in the marketplace.
So for those that have started that journey, what benefits do you think that have they achieved?
It's probably best to use an example. There's one global manufacturer we work with who had kind of adopted this digital core composable ERP strategy before the pandemic hit. And something they saw during the pandemic, they historically have been set up as a B2B type company. They, make large quantities of their products, ship them to big box retailers, stores, distribution centers. What they saw during the pandemic was a big shift for one of their product lines from that B2B mode to a direct to consumer, where up to 40% of the product now needed to be shipped directly to the consumer. They could have done that with their core ERP system, but it would have taken a long time to reconfigure it for that one product line and test it. And they found with, say, composable ERP as a new strategy, there are complementary technologies they could attach to that core ERP system. They were able to get this D2C change up within 3 months running with a low code platform. And I think they shipped like $1.5 million the first day on this new platform. So if you're adopting the right strategy here, the speed at which you're able to deliver the change and the capability that the business needs is the biggest benefit we see people achieving right now.
How can Fujitsu and SAP help these organizations?
Well, SAP helps by, they've got a ton of great capability within their core ERP that's part of the digital core that I spoke of. That's the foundation for ERP strategy. But deciding what belongs in the core and where to put, say, innovation applications for new capabilities the business needs, that can be sometimes difficult to decide. Fujitsu has developed a very repeatable, data-driven way, driven by business capabilities, help companies decide what belongs in the core, what belongs outside of the core as part of an overall composable strategy and digital transformation roadmap. And that we see customer after customer coming to us asking for help in plotting out that journey to digital transformation using a solid methodology that such as the one we've developed.
Amazing. Excellent. Gregory, thank you very much for joining us.